Good morning. Good morning. Let's sing a morning song together. We're going to sing hymn number 1014 out of the Till hymn book. And in the hymn book, the title and the lyric is Standing on the Side of Love. And quite some time ago, Jason Shelton changed this lyric to Answering the Call of Love. And when we were just on Zoom and I could give you the lyrics, we didn't have to talk about it, but since you're going to be looking in a hymn book, we're going to be singing Answering the Call of Love and not Standing on the Side of Love. For those of us, you joining us online, the lyrics will already be there, printed the correct way, and you'll just have to keep making the adjustment here. I invite you to participate in singing however you like, standing or sitting. Many stand, and let's sing together.
Good morning. Welcome to the Olympia UU congregation. We envision an interconnected world that is loving, just, and healthy. We commit to live out our mission to welcome and wonder, embrace and empower, bridge and become. Thank you for choosing to attend today, whether online or here in the sanctuary. My name is Ann Colbury, and I'm a member of the worship arts team. I use she, her pronouns. Leading worship today is our minister, Reverend Mary Geer, and our music director, Troy Fisher. Here are a few things you should know about the service today. We are streaming live on Zoom and on YouTube, and the service is being recorded. For those in the sanctuary, you can see subtitles on the screen in front. OUUC is now mask optional. Masks are always welcome, and you may choose whether to wear one. If you are feverish, coughing, sneezing, or experiencing those now familiar list of symptoms, please join us online. Let's continue to care for ourselves and each other. We are a multi-generational community. Babies, kids, and teens are all welcome in the sanctuary. We even have fluffy chairs in front where you can be almost as comfy as those online. We also offer nursery care and a storytime program just down the hall across from the sanctuary. Many people have helped make worship happen this morning. We're grateful for our ushers and greeters, the kitchen crew, our tech wizards, both seen and unseen, and all who have contributed in so many ways. After the service, everyone will have the chance to discuss questions offered by Reverend Mary. If you're online, please stay on to join a virtual coffee chat in a breakout room. For those in person, please join us for coffee and fellowship in the Commons. At 11:30, after the chat, please return to the main room online or here in the sanctuary for a presentation about carbon fee and dividend legislation sponsored by our Environmental Action Team. There are always many events happening at OUUC, from a variety of groups to Thursday community dinners and spiritual practice to study and action groups. Please check the Tuesday electronic update or the OUUC website for the most current information. Now, let's take a deep breath as we open our hearts and minds to prepare for worship. It is good to be together. Every Sunday morning, we join Unitarian Universalist congregations around the world in lighting a chalice, the symbol of our faith tradition. If you're online, please join me as we light our chalices together with these words from Marjorie Kaloran. Love is the aspiration, the spirit that moves and inspires this faith we share. Rightly understood, love can nurture our spirits and transform the world. May the flame of this chalice honor and embody the power and the blessing of the love we need, the love we give, the love we are challenged always to remember and to share.
Good morning. Our opening words this morning are adapted from Tess Baumgartner. Let us make this earth a heaven, right here, right now. Let us create a heaven here on earth where love and truth and justice reign. Let us welcome all at our pearly gates, our freedom table, amid singing and great rejoicing. All our lovely colors, all of the ways of loving each other's bodies, all of the ways we are variously abled, young, old, fat, thin, gentle, cranky, joyous, sorrowing. Let no one feel excluded. Let no one feel alone. May the rich let loose their wealth to rain upon the poor. May the poor share their riches with those too used to money. May we come to venerate the earth, our mother, to tend her with wisdom and compassion. May hate and warfare cease to clash in causes too old and tired to name: religion, nationalism, the false god of gold, deep-rooted ethnic hatreds. May all these disperse and wane. May we see each other's true selves. May we all dwell together in peace and joy and understanding. Let us make a heaven here on earth before it's too late. Let us make this earth a heaven for each other's sake. Come, let us worship together.
Let's sing together our opening song. It's in the Till Hymn Book, hymn number 1027, Cuando el Pobre, or When the Poor Ones. If you are good at Spanish, you can sing it in Spanish. For those of us that aren't so gifted at Spanish, the English is also there, and we could abide both languages in the same sanctuary. I invite you to sing in whatever language and however you wish to participate. Many stand.
This month, we have been exploring the spiritual theme of power. Dio Lewis, a member of OUUC's youth group, offers this reflection on power.
To me, power, more than anything else, is a filter that other people perceive you with. People treat it as this finite resource that needs to be collected, like politicians or CEOs. When I hear power, I associate it with, the rich 1% and the people behind the scenes pulling the strings. But power is not a thing that you can physically obtain. It is a way people see you. I do believe that the most powerful you can get is when you are part of community, and when there are many people having the same values, doing the same things to enact change. It can be really hard to feel that as an individual you ever have true power to enact change in a systemic scale. I think that is one of the biggest problems with our current system, because the power to change things is taken away from the millions of people who are actually living lives and being affected by racism and transphobia and climate change and all of those things. And instead, the power to change things within the current system is given to people who are unaffected. As a faith community, it is our job to empower each other and ourselves and the community that we are a part of. I would just love to see in this community a bigger push towards introspection, and also listening to the marginalized people in our lives and really trying to understand the ways that the individual can help them and how the community can help them. When, and not if, when we get there as a community, it'll be amazing. Lifting someone else up, lifting another community that you might not be a part of up, does not automatically bring you down. And really the goal is to lift everyone up together, but some people need to be lifted up higher because they are already at such a deficit. So look at the ways in which you empower or disempower people in your life, and look at, if you're here and they're here, is rising up together really the answer?
Each Sunday, we express our gratitude by joining together in service to our community and to something greater than ourselves. The offering we collect serves two purposes. It supports the ongoing work of OUUC, which is also supported by our regular pledges. This offering also supports an organization that serves the greater community in harmony with Unitarian Universalist values. In January and February, our Share the Plate organization is the Community Kitchen. Here's a video about their valuable work.
Hi, my name is Turtle, and I'm the program supervisor for the Community Kitchen. And we would like to say thank you to the Olympia Unitarian Universalist congregation for being a part of the Community Kitchen. You're an amazing bunch of folks and a blessing to all of us and all those in need. Your contributions help the Community Kitchen produce more than 100,000 meals a year for our hungry neighbors, most of which live outdoors and are unsheltered. Due to the severity of poverty and vulnerability felt by communities, your gift has provided the purchase of a life-sustaining, nutrient-rich food that nourishes the young and old alike. Many members in your congregation volunteer to prepare and serve meals at the Community Kitchen, and because you're a part of the ongoing need, your resources has fed tens of thousands of people and produced millions of meals since its founding 2 decades ago. Our partnership can accomplish more together than each can do individually as we combine our strengths and resources to live out our call to serve. And with that said, we are deeply grateful for you and your partnership, and know that together we bring the good news and loving presence of God to the poor and most vulnerable among us. So thank you, and for all of your love, time, and support to feeding those in need and being a part of the Community Kitchen. Thank you.
You may participate in the offering by making a donation online, through the church website, or by texting the number that will appear on your screen in a moment. You can also mail a check to OUUC or place your offering in one of the baskets that are being passed by the ushers. Jessica Lynn reminds us that this haven, this refuge, this place of worship and wonder exists because we make it so with our contributions, the gifts of our time, our skills, our food, our love, our laughter, and our money. Let us join together now in giving generously to sustain this place that fortifies and challenges us in these trying and troubled times.
Thank you for your generous gifts. We came together this morning bringing everything that is in our lives. Let's open our hearts to the complexity of life as we place stones in the water of community. You will hear a drumbeat as we share what is in our lives today. It brings into our awareness that our individual hearts beat, and together we create the heartbeat of our community. So right now, let's just take a deep breath together, in and out. And let's open our hearts to receive the complexity of all that is in our lives and in our community today. Let's take a moment to extend our hearts and hands to the people of Memphis, Tennessee, as they mourn the killing of Tyree Nichols by police at a traffic stop. As we wrestle with the spiritual theme of power, may we bear witness to a system that once again discounts and destroys Black bodies. May we rededicate ourselves today to the work of racial justice. Last Sunday, I shared that Karen Kruger, our OUC member, died peacefully in the hospital. I also shared that Karen had 2 cats that would need a new home. And I'm happy to share that Karen's cats found their new home thanks to the work of OUC member Naki Stevens, who contacted a friend. So thank you, Naki, and all the best to the kitties and their new person, Donna. And we wish our congratulations to Jack and Karen Jackson, who celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary on Friday. Woohoo! We have them to thank for the beautiful flowers this morning. Jack and Karen, we wish you many, many more happy years together. Now is the time for sharing. For those online, I invite you to share from your heart by entering in the chat. This is a time to share all that you wish, joys and sorrows, and whatever else is shared from your heart. Those in the sanctuary can see your sharing on the screen. And for those in person today, I invite you to come forward if there is something you would like to bring into this community. You may place a stone in the water as you hold your sharing in your heart. It works best if you come up by the side aisle and return by the center aisle. So let's hear the heartbeat of our community and reach out our hearts in love and care to all those who share. We place a stone in the water for all that has been shared from the heart online. And we place one more stone in the water for all that we hold in our hearts and that remains unspoken. Please be in whatever way is comfortable for you for prayer and meditation. Many people sit. This blessing is offered by John Gibb Millspaw and Sarah Gibb Millspaw. It's adapted from the Metta Sutta of the Pali Canon. In our religious tradition, it is not just ministers and religious professionals who have the power to bless. Each of us has the power to bless one another and to bless the world. Therefore, I invite everyone here, in whatever way you are here, to participate in this blessing. The words are ordinary words, but we make the blessing real through our shared intention. So I invite us to form a connection with each other. It might be touching someone near you if you are all comfortable with that. It might be holding up a hand in blessing. It might be an imagined thread connecting you to all of us. So just take a moment to form and feel that connection. As we have been blessed, so we bless one another to be a blessing. Breathe in, breathe out. This breath we share that all with all that breathes. Feel the love of the universe flowing through this community into you and out into the universe again. Let the love of all the universe, your love, flow outward to its height, its depth, its broad extent. You are more than you know, and more beloved than you know. Take up whatever power is yours to create a safe haven, to make of earth a heaven. Give hope to those you encounter, that they may know safety from inner and outer harm. Be happy and at peace, healthy and strong, caring and joyful. Be the blessing you already are. That is enough. Blessed be. Amen. Let's hold a moment of silence together.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm Barry Zicker. I'm your chair of your Capital Campaign Committee. Thank you. So you're aware we are having a capital campaign. Good, good. I'm here to talk about a topic that I don't like to talk about much. Money. Yes, I get the irony. I'm reminded of one of my favorite actors, Alan Rickman, best known for Hans Gruber or Severus Snape. But I like him as Ed, the starving artist in New York City. When asked if he wanted a job for money, you remember money? Yes, I remember money. It irritates me that I should need money. I shouldn't need it. It would be great if we didn't need money, but we do. One of the things I love about our congregation, OUC, is that we use our money, our power, to give. We are one of the most giving congregations I know. We give money, we give our time, we give of ourselves. We're the Blue Apron Brigade, who we saw on the screen, giving food to the homeless. We're the sea of yellow t-shirts marching up Capitol to go stand on the steps, giving voices to things like gender equality, climate justice, racial inequity. We give of ourselves, but sometimes we forget to give to ourselves. I look around this sanctuary. This is our home, a place we come every week to rejuvenate, to rest, to contemplate, to connect. This home that we use as a springboard to launch our voices just a little bit further. This solid rock that we hold on to as we reach into the chaos that is life to grab someone's hand and pull them up. And our home needs our help. At my house, we have this term we call life maintenance. It's that stuff you do to keep things going, you know, the boring stuff. So then you can focus on your passions. It's not fun, it's not enjoyable, but it's necessary. Oiling that squeaky hinge, changing the light bulbs, replacing the furnace. Necessary, but kind of boring. It is cold in here, right? And OUC is in need of a little life maintenance right now. I'm not going to talk about the capital campaign. See me out there afterwards. But it irritates me that I need money. I shouldn't need it. To which Kevin Kline replies, I disagree. Sometimes it's good to get involved in other people's problems. With money. With money. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Barry, for sharing your reflection on generosity and for your leadership and work with the Capital Campaign. There is much wisdom about the power of money, which is our topic today. I like the idea that goes back to the 1600s and which has been said by leaders from Francis Bacon to Thornton Wilder. Here's what Bacon said. Riches are like muck. In his day, that would be manure or compost. Riches were like muck. When it lay upon a heap, it give but a stench and ill odor. But when it spread upon the ground, then it cause much fruit. So some of us might think that riches are like manure, dirty and smelly, to be avoided, yet we can do so much to nurture the world we dream about if we pool our resources and spread them around. Money is a complicated thing, and we tend to have complicated feelings about it. It's a hard topic, and some of us see it as a necessary evil. So I'm going to talk about money today. And before I do, I want to invite us into a short time of reflection so we can get grounded. So please get comfortable in whatever way that is for you right now. And turn your attention inward for just a moment. Take a breath and remember to breathe. And notice what's going through your mind right now. What are your thoughts? Are you thinking about what Barry just said? Or what I just said? Are you thinking about yesterday or tomorrow? Just notice your thoughts and name one of them to yourself. Next, notice what you are feeling. What is your emotional state right now? Are you stressed? Calm? Anxious? Wary? Worried? Just notice your emotion and name one to yourself. And last, notice your body. Start at the top of your head and scan your body down to your toes. Where are you relaxed or tense or something else? What is your body telling you this morning? Just notice and name to yourself what you feel in your body. Take a breath in and out. And when you are ready, bring your attention back to our gathering together here, now. In our American culture, we are bombarded with messages about money, which are primarily about scarcity and not enough. Do we make enough money? Have enough money? Spend enough money? These messages can evoke fear and worry. We're given messages about class, our social and economic status in relationship to each other. Perhaps it's criticism or stereotypes about the class we are in, or that we need to work harder to move up or circle our wagons to maintain the class that we've achieved. This can invoke anxiety and shame. Money is a leading cause of tension and conflict in relationships and in families. And one of the top 3 reasons that people leave a church is too much talk about money. We also have a long history of religious teaching about money, going back to our most ancient stories from the Bible. One scholar suggests that there are 2,300 Bible verses that mention money. 2,300. There are many proverbs about money, and in the book of Romans, there is guidance to give everyone what you owe them, including guidance to pay your taxes. 13 of Jesus' 39 parables are about money, a third of his parables. And then there's the story of Jesus in the temple turning over the tables of the moneylenders, a story that has been interpreted to say that money is evil and unclean. What have you been taught about money, either by life experience or by other people? What have you been taught about money? I grew up in a working class family and watched my parents each get a college education as my brothers and I went to grade school, middle school, and high school. We had enough. We always had food and shelter and a big extended family that was a safety net. My grandparents and my parents worked hard to get into and stay in the middle class. I was taught to work hard and save money. I was taught to acquire and accumulate because there was always the unspoken fear that someday there wouldn't be enough. When my husband John and I met and were dating, we took a class together about money. Isn't that a romantic thing to do? It was about how to manage money, which was a really good foundation for our life together. That shared understanding has served us well. And later we took a class that's called Your Money or Your Life, which helped us focus on our relationship with money and how to fulfill our spiritual needs in meaningful ways. And after all that and years of conversation, I still struggle with scarcity and fear. We swim in it, and there are times when the fear is just too powerful. I wasn't taught to recognize enough. Most likely, none of us were taught to recognize enough. How much is enough? Well, a simple answer is enough is what is sufficient to meet our basic needs. And I would define basic needs as shelter, clothing, food, water, medical care, education, safety, and access to transportation. That's not a small list. And some of us don't have enough to meet our basic needs. Others have enough sometimes and not at other times. And some of us have an abundance, more than enough. Fundraiser Lynn Twist, who wrote The Soul of Money, says, "The power of our relationship with money is when we discover the exquisite distinction of enough." The exquisite distinction of enough. In this case, exquisite means delicate and fragile, as well as beautiful. Knowing enough requires that we tune out the voices that say there isn't enough even when our basic needs are met. It requires introspection, paying attention, and listening. In a culture of more, it is countercultural to suggest that we can have enough. And countercultural is hard work. Just ask any activist. In this congregation and in our Unitarian Universalist faith, we talk about hard things. We teach our children about intimacy and sex with the Our Whole Lives curriculum. In last Sunday's service, Reverend Sarah led us in a ritual and offered a reflection on reproductive justice. And this week we're talking about money. And it's not just in this service. Reverend Sarah created, and we are offering a class for our young ones called Kids Making Sense. That's SENSE, and the S is a $sign. This class is for elementary age kids to help them better understand three things: money, what it is, why we have it, and how to manage it; generosity; and stewardship of the earth, of the common good, and of each other. Here we talk about money because it's a spiritual topic, and generosity is a spiritual practice. At its best, a faith community helps us with the big questions of life. Who am I? What are my values? How do I want to be in the world? How does my life reflect my values? And money is a part of the answer to each of those questions. Not the whole answer, but a part of the answer. Author Annie Dillard said that how we spend our days is how we spend our lives. And it is said that you can tell someone's real values by noticing how they spend their money. How we spend our money is how we live our values.
This reading is from the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s speech entitled "The False God of Money," delivered in Atlanta, Georgia, on July 19, 1953. Doubtless someone has been saying, but are you minimizing the importance of money? Are you saying that we must not pursue economic goals? To which I would answer, of course not. No one can really minimize the importance of money. Even if he minimizes money in theory, he cannot do it in fact, for it is necessary for survival itself. Without it, men are deprived not only of luxuries, but also of necessities. So it would be sheer nonsense to attempt to minimize the importance of money. It is not the possession of money that I am condemning. Rather, it is the inordinate worship of it that I am condemning. Money in its proper place is a worthwhile and necessary instrument for a well-rounded life. But when it is projected to the status of a god, it becomes a power that corrupts and an instrument of exploitation. This ends our reading.
Most likely, we all know the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. to have been a prophetic voice for justice and a man dedicated to racial and economic justice. What isn't talked about as much is that King was a dedicated and amazing fundraiser. He took his inspiration from Gandhi, who was also an excellent fundraiser. King and Gandhi both understood the power of money when it's used and not used. They both used the tool of boycotts, withholding their money, as a tool for their justice work. Mother Teresa was also a tireless, committed, and wonderful fundraiser. These were deeply spiritual people who understood the power of money and what money can do when it is used for the common good. I very much appreciate the distinction that King makes about money and power. He said that money is necessary for survival. It is in a capitalist economic system, so of course it's important. Anyone who has not had enough for food, shelter, medical care, and other basic needs knows that money is important. We know that money doesn't buy happiness. It does buy necessities, comfort, and options for choice. It's when money becomes the false idol, when more becomes the goal without any recognition of enough, then money becomes evil. You may have heard the saying that money is the root of all evil. That saying is from the first book of Timothy in the Christian Bible. And what it says is this: "For the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. Some people eager for money have wandered from the faith and pierced themselves with many griefs." Money itself isn't evil. It's the love of money above all else that leads us to act in ways that go against our basic humanity and against what we say we are, our values. There is a reason that greed is a cardinal sin, one of the 7 deadly sins. Greed is a sin of aggression, grasping. It can be predatory and exploitive. Greed causes us to lose touch with our interconnection and our innate care for each other. King's work for racial justice always included economic justice as well. They are intertwined. Intersectional is the word we use these days. His radical idea was that we have the means to eliminate poverty. As a society, we had enough. We have enough. He proposed full employment for those who could and wanted to work, with adequate wages, a decent living standard for those who couldn't or shouldn't work, elimination of slums with adequate housing for all, medical care and education for all, and a care for our earth so we can have clean water and air. We have enough resources to make this happen. This is the work of justice. In the past couple of decades, there has been more conversation about reparations, another powerful use of money. Reparations is making monetary repair for past abuses of power. It's making amends for wrongs that have been done. We know that this country was colonized on stolen land from indigenous peoples who were never compensated for the lands that were taken. We also know that this country was built on the labor of Africans and African Americans who were enslaved. Indigenous and African American people today live with a legacy of exploitation and never enough. What would it look like to empower each other economically? What would it look like to make reparations? As D.O. Lewis said in their reflection earlier, the goal is to lift everyone up together, not this, but this. The goal is to lift everyone up together, and some need to be lifted more because they started lower. This is the work of economic justice, and that work requires that we talk about the distribution of money. When we refuse to talk about money, we give up our power. This past month, we've been exploring the spiritual theme of power. And I've noticed that interwoven with that theme, we keep coming back to the idea of choice. Power is about choice. Those with power have choices that those without power are denied. As a people of faith, we are called to use our power for justice economic justice, racial justice, climate justice, reproductive justice. Choice for all is enough for all. The Capital Campaign Committee has worked hard to help us understand the needs of our building, our spiritual home. And the stewardship team is hard at work preparing to help us understand how we can work together to build the world that we dream about. Understanding is one thing. It's how we engage our brains. What we feel, what we actually do with our money, I'd suggest is way more determined by how we feel. Are we afraid there isn't enough now? Are we worried there won't be enough in the future? Are we ashamed of what we have or of what we don't have? Or are we in touch with the abundance of our lives and feeling gratitude for what we have? This is what I hope for myself, for you, and for us as a community. That we can create and maintain a relationship with money that is spiritually satisfying. Spiritually satisfying. And what I think that means is knowing the power of money as a tool for justice and the common good. It's feeling the exquisite distinction of enough and the gratitude of enough. It is knowing our deepest held values and that we can generously use our money to reflect those values. And it is doing the work of building meaningful connections with each other, with our values, with our resources, and our power, and being willing to use all of them. So as we do so, may we find the courage to confront the scarcity mindset in ourselves and in our community. May we seek to know the exquisite distinction of enough, calling upon our generosity individually and collectively. And may we always, always open our hearts to the power of love. Let's hold just a moment of silence together.
Let's join together in singing our closing hymn, hymn number 134, Our World is One World. I invite you to join in whichever way is most comfortable for you, standing or sitting.
Praise
If you are online and have a chalice or candle, please join us as we extinguish our chalice here in the sanctuary with these words from Amy Zucker Morgenstern. When we take the fire from our chalice, it does not become less, it becomes more. And so we extinguish our chalice, but we take its light and warmth with us, multiplying our power by all of our lives and sharing it with the world. May we move in peace.
Let's join together in singing our unison benediction. Great job making